Alright everyone, hello and welcome to the However Comma podcast. Today is the first part of our bulk recording session where we're going to be basically having no sleep for a little while. This is going to be a good time. I just wanted to start off by saying that we are a firmly pro-dollar menu McDonald's $1.29 burger meal.
Yeah, and with that being said, we're also firm anti-Alex keeping those burgers in his pockets podcast.
It's just so convenient.
That's so gross.
It's really nasty.
They're still wrapped. It's not like I'm just taking the burger out and just like going ham on it.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not a fucking homeless person. That's great. That's such a high bar to set for yourself.
I like to think that it is.
But yeah, so we're going to start with some topics, right?
Yep. And I figured I'd just start with a little bit of question mainly for you two.
Okay.
Because
Hit me with it.
Yeah, so as we know, there's a lot of big shows coming out this season. Just a ton of stuff to watch. And for most people who want to live, like, sane lives...
Not us three, by the way. This is purely perspective on normal people.
We have to kind of pick and choose what shows we're going to watch. And for a lot of us, there are shows that we may have wanted to get to that we just haven't yet.
Even for people like me and Sam, who can still seem to bulk watch shows, there's still a lot of times too much.
Too much.
And so my question for you guys was, in the like craziness of the season, are there any shows that you like were really excited for that were coming out this season that you just haven't got to? Not because you like dropped them or anything or heard bad things about them, but that you just like haven't gotten to for whatever reason?
Oh yeah, I have 6 shows like this actually.
Yeah. I have quite. I think I have 4.
And I figured this would be a kind of like the hot button for you guys, just because. Yeah.
Well, we did watch seasonally, right?
Yeah. And I guess I'll just throw it out there. For me, the big one that I can think of is Log Horizon. I went into this season like that was the number one show that I was most excited for was Log Horizon season 3. And I've heard some things like a little bit mixed things on it. People don't really like it as much as the last 2 seasons. I don't really know why. I haven't really
we haven't seen it yet. Yeah.
delved into it too much.
Well,
but I just haven't gotten to it. Couldn't tell you why. I'm still excited for it. Just haven't gotten to it.
It's just weird. Like I was really looking forward to the Log Horizon season as well, but like now that it's come, I really want nothing more than to not watch it. I'm not very interested in it at all. And I've also just I've got a lot on my plate with this season. I'm probably watching upward at least 10 shows, and there's about 4 or 5 shows that I've wanted to watch that I just haven't gotten to. I don't know, getting onto your question, I don't know, like the shows that I wanted to watch, just off the top of my head, I wanted to watch Cells at Work, haven't gotten to any of that. I wanted to watch, Horror was not a show that I wanted to watch until the season started, but I want to watch that, haven't even begun to think about starting that really. And, Cells at Work, I want to watch Log Horizon, I don't know, there's got to be more, but those are just some that are off the top of my head right now. I know you got some, Ryan.
So I wanted to watch both Cells at Work things, like both the shows that came out, because it was Cells at Work Season 2 and Cells at Work Black.
I can't believe I got away with that.
What I came up with is that Cells at Work Season 2 is only 8 episodes. So I've watched 7. I think the last one just came out. I haven't watched it yet. And then I'm going to try and binge Black to catch up with it before the season ends. Beastars is another one I haven't started watching.
I can't believe you guys haven't started that. It's different, but it's still really good.
Beastars is an interesting one because I really kind of planned on waiting till it was all out from the beginning. But we have someone in our group who won't stop playing the opening for the second season.
It's a
very good opening.
It's a very good opening.
It's a good opening.
Making it harder to try and wait to binge the season. I don't know. There was another one. I said 6. I was kind of over exaggerated with 6, but there's a couple sequels of shows I haven't watched that have come out. Like Wonder Egg Priority. It's not a sequel. It's a new show.
That and the new Isekai. What is the new Isekai called?
Mushoku Tensei.
Yeah, that and the new Isekai are like the 2 shows that I had no interest in watching it coming into the season. And Horima as well. But people have talked about it enough that I want to watch those shows so bad, but I have so much on my plate with this season already. I mean, I think anybody who watches seasonally can relate to that. It's just...
I don't know, man. I've been hyping up Mushoku Tensei ever since I saw it was getting announced.
Log Horizon, Promised Neverland, Quintessent Quintuplets, and Seven Deadly Sins are all sequels to shows that I've considered, but I'm not fully caught up on the past seasons or have ever started them. Oh man, do we want to talk about the shitstorm of the Promised Neverland?
I mean, we kind of already did.
Yeah, we kind of touched on it.
It's just kind of insane that, like...
Oh, that's right, we did.
I mean, the amount that it's dropped, yeah.
For context, it was rated at like an 8.3.
It's an 8.4, I think. Yeah.
Coming into the season, and then it's dropped to like a 7.6.
Roughly a 7.5 or something on Mal, yeah. I mean, it might even be lower now. Let's check it out. But
7.2.
7.2. It's been over an entire point.
That's really crazy.
With over 500,000 members.
Yeah, with about a 3-episode span, I would say.
No, with like a 2-episode span. No, because it would have been 3 episodes, but they released a recap episode as 5.5. No, it was only 2 episodes because as of recording right now,
I didn't know they released a recap.
There's only 2 episodes that have come out. It's episode 5, which was what caused the shitstorm. Episode 5.5, a recap came out, and then episode 6, and that's all we're working with right now. So this has been
interesting.
If you really want to be
on an 11-episode season,
like 2 or 3 episodes, yeah.
Also, can we talk about like this string of like 11-episode seasons? There's like 3. It's like this one, Promised Neverland, Dr. Stone.
Dr. Stone's only 11?
And Mushoku Tensei, although we've already talked about Mushoku Tensei.
Yeah, isn't Mushoku Tensei going to be a...
I already said it's a long running, but its initial season is only 11 episodes.
I mean, that's fine. Like,
I don't imagine it's working as a pilot for a show that's being produced with such like extremely high production quality. Like, they probably need like a soft pilot cap to be like, hey, at 11 episodes, is this working? Can we keep producing it like this? What's the future of this show going to be? Also, I imagine that's what that 11 episodes is serving.
I said Quintessent Quintuplets is something I want to watch. I'm probably going to end up just reading the manga if I ever even indulge in that series at all.
Manga readers, bro.
Sam doesn't read.
It's just not that...
He just doesn't do it.
The only thing I read
is
not
that visually appealing to me.
Yeah. No, I'm kind of with you. I watched the first few episodes of it, and... Like, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll watch the first few episodes of something and just never touch it again. Not because I don't like the show, but because it's just, like, I just get distracted. With this one, I was just like, I don't know, nothing's really speaking to me.
Yeah.
I didn't, like, actively drop it, but, like, it just wasn't really something I was super interested in.
That was, like, it's like a soft... You put it, like, on a soft on hold.
Yeah.
And you guys will come to know if we produce enough of these episodes that Alex has a very common tendency to just stop watching shows.
He calls it the void. Any show that he's started and hasn't finished is in the void.
There are a lot of shows in the void.
And what constitutes a void show? What constitutes a void show is one that he has not officially dropped or did not drop because he didn't like.
They're on
He just stopped watching. Like, it's basically a whole yellow fucking sales mark. It's like that wood company. It's like, if it doesn't have this yellow tag, it's not good, because apparently he's watched a lot of good shows that he just hasn't finished.
Yeah.
He'll also always share his opinion on I'm flaming you a little. He'll share his opinions on shows, and he'll be like, yeah, I saw like an episode of it. And we're like, no, the good part of Tower of God was the last episode.
I was actually about to bring up Tower of God. It's one of the funniest, like, void shows, because I made it to the very last episode. The only episode of Tower of God I have not watched is the last episode. And I'd like to stress, I didn't drop Tower of God because I didn't like it. I just got distracted and never picked it back up again.
And that is, in my opinion, the last episode of Tower of God is the only episode truly worth watching. Like, which makes the entire experience worth it.
I disagree with that take, but...
I think it's pretty mid all before that, but...
Yeah, whatever.
The last episode's incredible.
I think the last 2 episodes are incredible.
Another kind of recent example for me is Tonikawa to the Moon. I really enjoyed that show. Like, I was watching it weekly, and I enjoyed every episode that I watched immensely. And I just, at a certain point, just stopped watching them weekly and just never got back to it. And I guess it's a little bit different if you're watching things weekly, between, like, if you're binging a show versus watching it on a
Yeah.
weekly basis. There's a little bit.
It's
of a
it's a
difference
lot
in
it's a lot
terms of-
easier to drop it if there's like a little bit of separation from it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like yeah,
If
if
you
there's
have that,
6 days of separation between every episode. Like,
Yeah, it's like with me. I used to have a very easy time keeping up with shows weekly, but nowadays it's like if I haven't watched a show in 7 days, it's a lot harder for me to like sit down and be like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this one episode and be done.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be it. Like I've taken a little bit
Yeah,
more.
but you
to
don't
doing
ever come
things.
back to them.
Well, what I've enjoyed doing with like Mushoku Tensei is I'll wait 2 or 3 weeks and then binge those 3 episodes and be done, and just like get back to it in 2 or 3 weeks.
That sounds like a recipe to even like drop it even sooner. Because like
don't
if you
know.
let that 3 weeks turn into 4 weeks, I mean, if it's working
true.
for now, I'm not.
Yeah, it's working for now. There's no like way to say that I'll be able to keep up with that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, we went a little away from topic, but
I mean that's fine.
yeah, no, it's fine.
I
I'm
think we're
just
still kind of on topic.
kinda.
We're talking about shows that we haven't gotten to, and we then went off on a tangent about shows we stopped watching for no reason.
Yeah, but I mean, I just like
More like Alex stopped.
It's a
watching
rough
for no
topic
reason.
to ask this season because, like, if you want my truthful answer, like a lot of shows that I've like shows
what
that
makes
I'm not
it-
watching that I want to watch is almost every show this season.
Well, here's the thing. What this kind of goes into my topic a little bit, but I'll go ahead and bring this one aspect up. I was just looking at some shows. You scroll down and you just look at some of these sequels. They
Yeah.
have like 145 viewers. Cells at Work season 2 is a good thing.
Sure.
I went back and said, what was the first season's viewership? It was summer 2018. It was the third most popular show with almost 4,390.
Yeah.
No,
439,000.
439,000. 439,000 members.
I mean, that was after it being out for almost 2 years too, though.
Yeah.
Like during the original runtime, I think it was like 200,000. I don't quite remember.
No,
but-
I remember with Cells at Work specifically, I didn't really start hearing people talk about it until like a good bit after its release.
Oh, I heard people talking about it the moment it came out.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like when I always heard about it, it was people who like started watching it on like whatever streaming platform it was on. I don't know if it was Netflix.
It shot up in
in
popularity
Yeah.
pretty much right as it started airing.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
anyways, it was the third most popular show that season. And even if you want to say it's after a while, the only shows from that season that are still more popular was a season of Attack on Titan and a season of Overlord.
Which will, which are going to be more popular.
That's
than,
gonna do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing else from that season was even. I checked. The next one was like 3,300,000
yeah.
or something.
That's
like that.
a 333. I got you.
330,000.
No, yeah.
But yeah.
And I was like, that's wild. This was a show that ranked towards the top of its season. And then it's just like, what, like 12th?
Well, in what, in that year? Or
No, in that season, it was like third. With that many viewers, and it's like 12th this season.
Oh, yeah, with the sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, talking about how insane this season is.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
No.
I mean, I'm only speaking for myself, but I wonder if anyone can relate. I don't really need another season of Cells at Work. Like, I thought that it did what it needed to do in its one season. And, I mean, I'm happy it has another season, because I enjoyed it for what it was, but I don't think I'm ever going to watch it.
Mm-hmm. It's like I really do think that in order to keep up with every show this season, you need to be you need to be crazy. Like
Yeah.
if you are going to watch every show that is worth watching this season, you would need to have no life. Like
Well, that's what
that would just need to be what you're doing.
Looking at it, there were going to be like 16, 18 shows, whatever it was, that I was going to watch this season. I think I'm watching a little bit more than half of that.
Yeah.
And
I'm
that's
watching
still
it- I'm watching
it's
10.
demanding.
I'm watching 10. And then there's some killer originals. I mean, we already talked about Wonder Eye Priority,
Yeah.
Horimiya, Mushoku Tensei already being shows that came out of nowhere and grabbed people's attention. There's also shows like Kimi no Jihen that I'm watching that I'm really enjoying.
I really thought that you just said Kodomo no Jikan, but that is very different.
And it's Kimi no Jihen.
And if you don't know what that
Kimono
is,
Jihen.
don't look it up. It is it is part of the soundtrack of Aria the animation I found. So that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, one of the things that I like to do in terms of just a game I play with seasons that come out is the Mal One Piece test. It's looking at the like homepage of Mal and seeing how far down on the top airing anime you have until
One Piece comes up, yeah.
Because it sits pretty constantly at about an 8.6.
Yeah,
and you can pretty clearly like judge the overall strength of a season by how many shows are above One Piece.
Yeah,
and this season is one of those seasons where you just can't see it on the homepage.
On the top 10, yeah.
Because what shows on Mal are the top 5, and if you can't see One Piece on that, that is a strong season.
That is insane, yeah.
Because I think because it's Attack on Titan's final season. Final season.
Well, we're looking at it. One Piece is number 7
marks.
with an 8.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the things above it are Jujutsu Kaisen. What in the world is the thing above that? Holo no Graffiti?
Yeah, isn't that? Yeah, it's an Ona. It's an Ona.
And it has like 18,000 members. All right, the people watching that, props to you, bro.
Okay, so it's one of those things. Horimiya Eurocamp, which is man, the Eurocamp stance came out hard for that one.
Eurocamp's a good show. I will die on this hill, bro.
ReZero and
I don't think it's that good, but it's a good show.
ReZero and Attack on Titan.
I mean, I know people have kind of described Eurocamp as like the the Animal Crossing of anime.
That's fair, I guess. I mean, I think the only reason why people would say that is because it's an outdoor slice of life. Like, you can pretty much say that about any slice of life, but the moment that it's outdoors, it's like, oh, it's kind of like Animal Crossing.
Or what I've heard is like it's something that people like watch for a little while, and they just like have this sort of relaxed feel to it, and then they just stop watching, and it's fine.
I mean, yeah, I
kind of want to go on a little bit. I've already said this to you too, but I kind of want to, for recording's sake, go on a little bit of a tangent later on, not right now. But a point I want to bring up is like, out of the shows you've seen, specifically sequels.
Sure.
Which ones have undersold and oversold themselves?
You mean in terms of mouse scores?
Kind of, yeah.
And just in terms of like overall hype, or yeah. So like, for instance, okay, so in my opinion, the sequel to Attack on Titan, to like gauge what you're saying, the sequel of Attack on Titan was actually pretty undersold. I think the original season 2, season 2 started with like 200,000 or 300,000 members originally, and everyone was just kind of like, oh yay, more Attack on Titan, and it had like an 8 on Mal or something for a long time, dude. It was ranked lower. I don't know if it still is, but it was ranked lower than the original season for a long time, and I was just kind of watching. I was like, this is
better.
A lot better than the first season, and I kept on watching. I was like, I'm enjoying this more and more every single episode. And I think it really is just kind of with a story that was built so that they only reveal a little bit of the world to you every single time. That for a second season, like, to just reveal a little bit more of the world with as interesting of a world as it is, like, you need a long running show, and it's just going to get better and better. As long as the world remains interesting, it's just going to get better and better the longer it runs.
And it wasn't just that; it was with every episode, with each new like thing they revealed to you, they also asked like 3 more questions.
Yeah, it was important that they, but yeah, exactly. They left you with more questions than they left you with answers, which is great for a kind of show like that.
One of the most impressive things about Attack on Titan so far is that they've managed to deliver on every point that they've promised.
Yeah.
I was so scared when we finally got to the scene where they were going to show Aaron's basement. That was going to be such a letdown. Mm-hmm. It's like, what, 6 years since the original came out?
Oh, geez. Easily, yeah.
Waiting for that. Manga readers are like, these guys waited 6 years.
Because it was Season 3, Part 2, right?
Yeah.
Which was 2018, 2019?
2018.
Wait, Part 2 is 2019.
No.
Let's find out.
Season 3, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 2019, which would have made it 5. Well, it would 5 years, whatever. You're not wrong.
Okay, I guess it was 2019.
Yeah, it was like the middle of 2019. So, you're not wrong though. Yeah, that's 5 years. So whatever. But
what we found out in the basement, you could never expect.
Yeah. And we're not going to say what's in the basement for people who haven't watched Attack on Titan.
I wasn't going to either.
But
well, too bad. It's in Season 3, Part 2. Have fun.
Yeah. The point is, if you haven't watched Attack on Titan and you don't know what's in the basement, watch Attack on Titan and find out what's in the basement because it's a good show.
Yeah. Very good. Modern masterpiece. It's been thrown around a lot, but it is becoming more and more true as
with
time
every episode of this season.
Also, leave animators and producers and like people who work on anime alone.
Oh, side note, yeah, what the fuck? Why do people do that? It just doesn't...
Yeah, we're not going to do this very
often. It's a vocal
often.
minority.
We're not going to do this very often, but we at Whoevercome are also a very anti...
Being a dickhead.
Harassment.
being a dick to animators podcast. Don't do that.
Yeah,
Or
I mean,
voice
we're going to
actors.
stick our pros and antis to the beginning of the podcast, except for right now.
Yeah.
Leave people alone. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, if you're... And this goes back to voice actors, too. Like, going back to the Darling and the Franks thing, where people harassed the voice actor of Ichigo.
Because Ichigo did something, bro. The voice actor is not the fucking character.
That was so horrible. Like, come on.
It just doesn't even make any sense.
That was awful.
I mean, I think it's mostly just kids and lonely fucking sad adults. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I mean, people who think that there's no ramifications for what they say. It's like, I mean, yeah, ultimately there's not, but you're gonna make someone feel bad, and like sending death threats is not fucking cool.
It's like there's not ramifications for you, but there certainly are for those people.
Right, for the people you're saying it to, of course. Yeah, that's better. That's a better way of putting it. But
And in some cases, that could turn around and have ramifications for you. If they quit their job, that could hurt the production of this show. Like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's all. It's dumb.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. What was it that you asked, Ryan? It was sequels, overhyped, or underhyped,
or underscored, I guess.
I don't want to bring the show up again, but I'm going to, and it's Promised Neverland. Promised Neverland season 2 is just one of those shows that like. I would not say it was overhyped because people were understandably very excited about it. It's just like gone on a weird route though, and people are responding accordingly, I suppose. But the hype going into it has not matched the hype that it has currently. It has just become one of those shows that like, even though there's some enjoyment left for me, I'm kind of wanting to drop it just because of the like culture around it, because of how people are treating the show, how people are talking about it. Like it's just not even fun to watch anymore. And the show has genuinely degraded a little bit, but.
So to bring up a more recent example than going all the way back to Cells at Work like I did, like ReZero,
Sure.
Season 2, Part 1, had like over 700,000 members.
Mm.
That was only half a year ago that it came out.
Yeah.
Really only a fourth of a year from when it finished. And now it has about 338,000.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean that's about right though. You need to think that the show hasn't finished airing yet.
But it was clearly the best show of its season, and really, honestly, except for Jujutsu Kaisen, was the best show of the later half of that year.
I might agree. I don't know. I'm still I don't love it as much as you do, but no, I mean it's like that's. I've been looking at Mal statistics for like as long as I've been on Mal because I'm a big numbers guy, which sounds dumb, but like it's true. Like if you look at Mal, like the way that Mal works, a lot of shows that are big, like the second season of Attack on Titan, like I was saying, only had like 300,000 members when it was airing. But look at it now, it probably
4 years after the first season.
Yeah, and it was 4 years after the first season. But if you look at it now, after it's done airing, it probably has over 1 million.
Yeah, it does.
And so that's just what I'm saying. Like, when shows finish airing, people will find them on Netflix, Hulu, wherever it may be, and they're going to go back and they're going to watch it. Yeah, look at Akudama Drive. Akudama Drive on its last... Sorry, we're looking at our Mal right now. Akudama Drive, on its last episode, had about 100,000 members. A little over. And now it has over 200,000 members now that it's done airing. It's just how it works. And, I mean...
One of the better original anime to come out in a while.
Akudama Drive is good, yeah. It having a 7.73, I think, is a little criminal.
I mean, you guys have hyped it up to no end. I need to watch it at some point.
I don't think it's incredible, but I think it's pretty fucking fun.
You're gonna have a good time watching it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't overstay its welcome, which I really like.
Yeah, no, it's a very self-contained story. Everything that happens in it is just fun. Akudama Drive is great.
It's got weirdly tight writing for a show that's kind of wacky. It's not. I'm not saying it's airtight.
It's not airtight. The writing is fun. It's kind of dumb, but it doesn't feel out of place, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it's wacky. Yeah, I mean that's the best way to put it. It's a wacky show, but the entire thing is kind of wacky. So it's just fun.
I mean, I kind of get that. I feel the same way about a lot of the shows that I really like. Like some of the ones I bring up all the time are Kekai Sensen. Like its whole thing is the chaos of this like crazy city, and every episode it focuses on different characters and their misadventures in the city of Hellstorm's Lot. And the whole idea of this is just how absurd everything that happens in the city is.
Oh, yeah.
And even despite that, it's able to keep this very tight writing, this very like character-focused writing within such a chaotic story. And that's one of the things that I really appreciate about it, especially when it like fits in with the themes of that show.
Also, you want to know how hard the season is? We just talked about all of these shows, and we didn't even mention Jujutsu Kaisen was still airing during the season.
Yeah, no, this season fucking slaps, and King's Raid is still airing as well. I mean,
yeah, it's because how could we forget about King's Raid?
Dude, King's Raid is a show that I forget about on a daily basis.
What was the show you said like a couple days ago that like you forget exists until you're reminded?
Oh shit!
Was it School Days?
Yes,
yeah,
it was School Days. Yeah. Well, of course. Why would you ask me? I've already forgotten about it. Dude, School Days is that show. Like I've never seen it, but like you see, like it is probably the most popular show that I don't even know about. Like like I said, I forget about it every single time until I'm reminded of its existence. It has absolutely no space in my mind.
I mean, the closest I've ever gotten to actually watching School Days is I watched a friend's like uploaded reaction to School Days. He had like a recorded video.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched the last episode.
Oh
reaction.
shit! Speaking of, when I close to the end of my high school, well, just time in high school, whatever. I wanted to be an anime reviewer YouTuber. And I have on my computer about like a 40-second to like a 2-minute, I don't know exactly how long it is, but it's a decently short beginning of my review of the Love Live series.
Oh, we found our second lost episode.
It's pretty fucking awesome. Unfortunately, it's just not really long enough to make anything from it. But yeah, I wanted to review Love Live, and I started working on it. I was like, I want this thing to actually be good. Because you look at like this was like 2016, 2017 when people were actually putting out pretty like quality stuff. And me just starting out with my limited knowledge of like editing and stuff, I didn't really want to put out anything stupid. Like I've still got that project file and all that stuff, all the audio recordings, everything still exists. I kind of want to release that at some point. I want to finish it in some way before I release it. But it's just, I don't know. My voice has definitely probably changed a little bit since then.
Probably a little bit, yeah.
I'm 100% sure because that's like 4 maybe 5 years ago at this point too. Like I'm a pretty different person now too. But that thing's pretty awesome. I want to share that with some people now that I'm remembering that at some point.
Now let's see. Back onto your question, Ryan. One of the shows that I have been thinking about.
Damn, bro, cut me off. No, are we talking about sequels still?
I mean, this is.
Oh, well, never mind. I thought you were looking up.
Recently I watched the show Nogizaka Haruka, and I didn't like it. I really didn't like it.
I mean, okay, but who watched this show other than you?
Yeah. But the thing is, like, it had pretty much the same score for the first and second season.
Yeah.
But for me, the second and third seasons, and the third season was rated even higher than the other two, are both just way, way worse than the first one. I have the first one rated as like a 5, maybe a 6, not a fantastic show, but like a passable show. The second 2 seasons I have rated like a 2 and a 3.
Damn.
I did not like them. I think the direction they took the show is pretty god awful.
I mean, well, after you get to a certain point, the only people watching sequels are people who liked the first season in general.
I mean, like you say that, but
I guess you barely did. Like, yeah. you thought it was passable at best.
Yeah.
Like,
Wait, is the final season only 4 episodes?
Yes, it is. It's an OVA.
It's
where they basically skipped like about half of the released material to animate the last arc of
yeah.
the show.
Well, of course it's going to be bad then.
Yeah, of course it was going to be bad, but like actually the like last 2 episodes of it, I actually kind of enjoyed. I liked the direction they took it, but it was just the 2 episodes that led up to those last 2 episodes were so like horrendous that I just couldn't.
And this is
like
Nogizaki
boring.
arc. No, Himitsu.
Yeah. Nogizaka Haruka's Secret is the English name of that show.
Yeah.
Finale.
Again, you're one of
It's basically
very few people who've ever seen it.
It was basically rich girl or emo without the incest. If I could describe that show.
Yep. Yeah. Fair.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I sorry. I need to think more on your topic. I see, like, because I already said Attack on Titan. I think that one was a very underhyped show. Probably something that was a little overhyped. Just because of you two, you might hate me for this. ReZero season 2.
I agree.
No, I mean I agree.
think you guys overhyped it a little bit.
Well, I think my thing with
over. I thought it was underhyped.
Oh, I think you guys overhyped.
Well,
it.
yeah, in our personal circle.
Within our personal. Well, I honestly did not hear too much online.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Are you saying?
Well, if you want to argue that it's underhyped, yeah, I didn't hear much about it.
Are you saying ReZero season 2 or ReZero season 2 part 2?
Season 2.
Season 2, part 1. We'll say.
Okay. My thing on ReZero season 2 part 1 is I liked it. I liked it a good bit. I liked it definitely more than part of ReZero season 1.
Yeah.
But my thing is, ReZero season 2 part 1 represents about the first half of ReZero part 1, like the first season part 1.
Mm-hmm.
And that first half of that show was good. Like it was a good show, but it wasn't really. I didn't think ReZero hit its stride in that arc until the second half of that show.
The arc
No, I agree. Yeah.
And I think this season
until Betelgeuse was on the screen, it wasn't.
And I think this season kind of did the same. In that the first season definitely seems to set up this whole like
and I may come to appreciate it a little bit more when I watch the second season, or second season part 2, I should say. But I as of right now, I think it was all right. I enjoyed it.
I just feel like the high notes that the show is hitting in the second part is just like it hits like all of the build up.
I still think season 1, in my opinion, had higher highs.
I disagree.
And I think season 2 was just kind of like a ride the whole time. Like, it was just like
my thing. I definitely think
episode
the highs
4. Episode 4 from part 1. Best episode. Best episode.
It's fair. I don't have anything that sticks out of my head as like a fantastic from that season. I just think it was
going back and like reconciling with his parents.
That is a really fantastic episode.
I thought it was alright.
Well, then
What?
Then you just really can't appreciate.
No, that's one of that. No, I agree with Ryan. That's one of the best episodes of the whole series.
I don't know.
Maybe the second best episode.
I usually like those episodes too. I just thought it was alright.
Yeah, it's better than episode 15 of season 1.
Ooh, that is a hot.
That
take.
is a hot take.
That is hot.
Maybe it is, but I'm not.
No, I mean
it.
it's a really, really emotionally like touching episode. I really liked it.
I like episode 18 of season 1 more than that.
No, I think
that's the I Love Amelia episode.
Oh, spoilers. If you don't know that Subaru says I love Amelia in episode 18 of ReZero season 1.
Well, you probably don't know what ReZero is.
Yeah, you probably A, don't know what ReZero part 1 is, or what ReZero is, and B, you've probably been living under a rock in the anime community, at least in the year 2016.
Yeah.
It's another show that took 4 years to get a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one in many. What is on that list? Attack on Titan,
That's just more
One Punch Man, ReZero.
Log Horizon? It took 8 years.
Log Horizon took no. Season 2 came out in like 2014, I think.
I think you're right. So 7 years.
Like, that's still a long time.
sorry, 7 years.
Yeah, 6 or 7 years. Yeah. What's up?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. Yeah, no, There's been a lot of sequels that I've really enjoyed. The thing is, like, I usually don't watch sequels if I don't. And then there's Alex who just throws them all into the void. So
yeah. I think another fun example of one that had like a dramatically higher score than its predecessors.
Yeah.
Things like the Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel movie series.
Oh,
This is an interesting one.
Yeah.
Because the first two movies we didn't really, I think as a collective, we didn't love.
I thought they were really pretty.
They're very pretty.
They
And then
were
the third movie's fantastic. The third movie is very good. But
I don't know how they did it.
I really don't know how.
They pulled it off and made it almost.
No, it's kind of like
one of my favorite anime movies.
it's kinda
One
like-
of my favorite anime movies.
the first three. The three Heaven's Feel movies kind of reminds me of the second season of Code Geass, where like the first part was middle part was not so great, and somehow this flaming car wreck parallel parts.
Yeah, and one of the best anime I've seen in a while. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And-
like,
But what's strange is, if I remember right, and if it still is, the second movie still has the highest score on Mal.
Does it really?
Yeah, let's check.
Oh, that is
check it.
no. That's wrong.
That's criminal.
I mean, I don't. I'm not saying that it's. I'm not
False.
saying that you're false, but like, that it's false. But it's just that is objectively incorrect. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna look at all three of the scores.
Yep.
All right. So the first movie has a score of 8.29.
Which does not deserve.
It does not deserve. I think I gave it a 7 just because I
gave it a
still
7.
enjoyed it and it's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I think that
In season 2, the absolute car wreck.
is a movie 2.
Yeah,
It has-
sorry, movie 2.
Has a 8.5, 8.6.
I might be wrong. All right, this is looking promising.
Okay, 8.6
oh no,
for
I think
the second movie.
All right, cool. I'm wrong.
8.79.
I'm so happy I'm wrong.
All right.
There may have been a time when I was correct, but that time is
Well,
no
I
more.
wouldn't be surprised if you were correct, like right at the movie launch,
Yeah.
because not very many people were able to see it.
And I think that might have been when I was looking at it.
also
That
we
could
went and
be-
saw this in theaters. Best decision we've ever made.
Yeah, that was just fun as fuck.
That was so much fun.
We just that entire trip, like it felt really impromptu, and we just, like everything about it just. Because, I mean, we pretty much bought the movie tickets, like, the last day we possibly could have.
Yeah.
We drove there. We were, like, 10 minutes late to the movie. I mean, everything about it was just...
Okay, guys, listen. Google fucks with traffic on purpose to make you to make their predictions right.
We're not going to
Yeah.
That's the
The truth has to get out, Alex. It has to get out.
Dude, I swear to God,
public needs to
it
know.
said...
The numbers
Here at the
Mason.
Whoever Comma podcast are firmly pro Google.
We would go, and the time said that we were going to get there, like, we'll just say,
Yeah.
like, arbitrary time of, say the movie started at 8, I think it was after that. Arbitrary time. This movie started at 8. We left, and we were like, oh, we can easily make it in that amount of time.
We left at 5:30.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we did, but I don't know. Maybe the movie started at 7. I don't know.
7:30, I think.
But we were like, oh, we can easily make it. We started driving, and we just hit patches of traffic the entire way there. That, like, okay, I get it. People are getting off of work at that time and stuff, but it seemed so uncanny. Google was right by the minute. It was by its original guess for when we were gonna get there. They were incredibly correct. I don't know if I should give props to Google or be scared. I don't know. Like, it was incredibly close.
Nah, that was such a fun trip.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, we all got, like, snacks at the gas station, which ended up becoming our dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we got, like,
Forgot
beef
about
jerky
that.
and
Yeah.
wraps and...
That's like
Like-
all we ate for like 4
Oh, gosh.
hours.
Yeah.
And then we got Arby's.
Oh, we did get Arby's.
We did get Arby's later.
That was more of a midnight snack, but...
I don't know what you mean. I ate 3 roast beef sandwiches. I don't know about.
That was a meal and a half.
I don't know
for
about
me.
snacks.
But no, that was a lot of fun, and I mean, and somehow, I mean, we left thinking this movie is gonna be dog shit. Like everything that had set up to. I mean, we talked at least half of the drive there. We were like,
what could they possibly do to make this movie okay?
yeah, like this movie is we pretty much went in with a mindset of this movie's gonna be bad, but at least it's gonna be incredibly pretty. We walked out of the movie, and I think I remember just looking at both of you guys. I'm like, so that was good, right?
and we were both just like, yeah.
Somehow. And we did, like, for at least the first, 10 minutes of the ride back, we were both like, or we were all just sitting there like, so that movie was really good. I really like...
We were in a state of shock.
Oh, absolutely.
We were just sitting there like, what what do we do with this?
Yeah,
Because I can't say, like, what the issue I'm having now is that...
We were, like, saying, that movie's a 9, right? But when we said 9, we had such trepidation in our voice.
Well, we expected to give it a 7.
Yeah.
We were going to be like, you know what?
I don't know about you guys. I was expecting to give it, like, a 5.
That's, yeah.
Like,
Sure.
maybe a 6 on on, like, pretty animation.
No, that's fair, yeah.
And music.
Yeah. But no, it was... And I think one of the struggles I'm having with this now is originally my watch order for the Fate series was you watch Fate Zero, great show, fantastic, highly recommend it, and then you watch the Fate Routes Unlimited Blade Works series, the 2 seasons in that, and that's all you need to watch. That's it.
If you really want to dip your toes into Apocrypha,
Yeah.
and if you really want to go to like Case Files was all right.
But my big thing was like you don't need to worry about any of the routes because that's just not worth it.
Yeah.
But now, like, I don't know what to say because the first 2 movies of the third route aren't very good, but the third movie
is just phenomenal. I don't know how they did it.
I wouldn't say the
again,
first one's
but
necessarily not good. It's just like it has a lot of stuff that happens and there's so many questions.
It's confusing.
It's confusing.
Yeah, I might have to watch it well, I mean, this is kind of true with all of the Fate series, but the first movie, I might have to watch like 4 or 5 times to understand completely.
Yeah.
Because it's just, a lot of stuff just happens. They just throw out a lot of terms that you're expected to know. I mean, this is very much...
This is not a beginner.
This is... Yeah.
Part.
People really do say, like, you can start with anything in the Fate series. You cannot start with the Heaven's Field route. You cannot do that.
I would almost argue that watching Apocrypha is a prerequisite to the Fate... Or for Heaven's Field.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that's... And as that sucks to say because you can't watch Apocrypha as the first thing you watch.
No, absolutely
Because
not.
that would just be...
It's almost like
boring.
It's almost like you got to go Fate Zero, Unlimited Blade Works, Apocrypha, then Heaven's Field.
I kind of agree with that. Yeah.
And that's so weird.
And that's so weird. And then you're telling people to watch 2 movies that are really confusing to get to a 3rd movie, but then we promise it's so fucking good.
It's kind of incredible. And I wonder if part of the reason why we loved it so much was part of the theater experience.
There's a good chance.
There's a good chance, but also
it was a good movie.
But it also was good.
I think if we watched it again, I think I would enjoy it at least like mostly as much. Like
easily.
The Rider Saber Ultra Fight would still be fucking dope.
No, I remember. Well, not to spoil it too much, but there's a Berserker fight in the second movie. That was my favorite fight of all of Fate. Like in terms of visually, this was my favorite fight in all of Fate by far. And I said, going into that movie, I said, unfortunately, nothing can top that. They top it. And it's fucking beautiful. It's, like, narratively better.
Narratively much better.
Narratively way better.
Lore-wise, way less confusing.
Way less confusing, yeah. No, we've discussed ad nauseum how the fuck the Berserker fight even happened, how it did, because there are some things that happened in that. For instance, this isn't, if you know anything about Fate, this is not a spoiler. If not, spoiler warning, whatever.
Man, this really was supposed to be the podcast episode for the people who aren't super into Fate.
Okay, well, we'll be done soon. But so the Berserker fight, Berserker takes a lot of fucking damage in that fight, and it is canon.
You could almost say a divine amount.
If you deal enough damage to Berserker, it will take multiple of his lives. People who are listening to this should already know what Fate is. Berserker has a lot of lives, and if you kill him, or if you do enough damage to him, he can take multiple of his lives. Dude, the blast that he was taking in that fight, the fucking damage that he was taking, should have taken, like, all of his lives at once. Like, he was taking fucking, like, city-leveling damage. Like, shit that he should not have been able to survive. But he did, and I think he used pretty much all of his lives in that fight, which is just absurd. But that aside, it was a really pretty fight. One of my favorites.
I think the only reason we don't give this a 10 is there's one kind of plot hole that we don't
it has
like.
to do with the main character, and actually, we're going to be delving into that exact plot hole
in our next episode.
Yeah.
Which we're probably recording tonight. But
and honestly, I think that's probably enough on this.
I think we can stop on
I think
that.
we can probably stop
Stop
put
on
it on
Fate.
that note, but you still have your topic left.
I do. Yeah. And no, mine is.
So to switch gears,
mine is a topic that I came up with last minute, right before recording. So it's fantastic, as I'm sure you can imagine.
I'm so excited.
It's something that we've probably discussed between the three of us ad nauseum before, but I just kind of wanted to get this, out there. This last decade of anime just ended. It was 2011 to 2020. That was one decade. When we became anime fans, with all of us being within that time frame, we all started watching seasonal shows in that amount of time. We all watched a lot.
I apologize if you hear any reverberation. This is really annoying ass train.
There is a fucking train outside.
Yeah, we live next to a railroad.
It happens. But what, in your opinion? But actually, I was gonna say your favorite. Let's go over our top 3 favorite shows of this last decade.
Of this last decade.
Between 2011 and 2020.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
sure. Awesome. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, okay. What's in this decade?
Did it have to come out this time?
Whoa! Copyrighted music. Thank you very much. Yeah, let me use my mouse. I have media macros on it.
All right.
So, okay.
Let's pull up the years. And do we want to just do our doc that we did that one time?
I don't know if we have access to that right now.
And I don't think we do.
Okay, so let me go through. I'm going to go through all the seasons. Our favorite shows are probably going to be the ones that are the most popular. Anyways.
We're counting 2010, right?
We're not counting 2010.
Okay,
2010 was last decade.
Okay.
Because 2020 counts for this decade.
Yeah. So
it goes 2011 to 2020.
So I'm just gonna go through. Stop me if you see anything that you like. We're in winter 2011. We got shows like Madoka Magica. Spring 2011, we got Steins Gate, Anohana, Blue Exorcist. Summer 2011, we got Usagi Drop, Madochiki. This, I'm just looking at this season. This is a kind of yikes season, bro. Fall 2011, Hunter 2011.
Yeah,
okay, I gotta stop us here already.
All right. Well, there's 2 things we need to stop on in this particular season.
Okay.
That's not bad.
So, Hunter is my favorite show.
Yeah, that is going to be at least very close to the top anime of this decade.
Of course.
At the very least,
know.
number 2.
I don't know if it's in my top 3.
So for me, it's number 1. There's just no questions about that.
Definitely in my top 5.
Yeah.
It's just a fantastic show. If you haven't given it a shot, do it. It's just fantastic.
Can't say
I really
it enough.
cannot recommend it enough.
There are some parts of it that drag. Please get through those. I promise it's all worth it.
What the fuck?
But even those parts that kind of drag still build up to they still serve to build up to absurdly high highs.
Of course, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it feels like it's dragging, understand that everything that you're learning in those parts is gonna just have the ultimate payoff.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, and then we also have to stop for Fate Zero. Fate Zero has a pretty good chance of being in my top 3.
It also kind of does for me. There's a chance, anyway.
Fall 2011 is a stacked season.
Wow.
Just because of those 2 years.
Go down.
Are we sure we're not counting 2010? Because I could have sworn all of those anime of this decade things ended at 2019.
No.
I think they do.
They might.
Because we included Bakemonogatari in our
because
that's not part of my top 3 anyway.
Okay, wait,
let's go back to 2010. We're going back to 2010 because one of mine is in 2010.
Okay, what is it?
One of mine is Durarara.
I think you're right. I think the season. I think I'm dumb. I think
because the very beginning here has Durarara in it, and that is probably in my top 3. It's in my top 5 anime of all time.
That's fair. Yeah.
So I just want to get that out there. Just the whole series is one of my absolute favorite things ever. So that is probably going in there. Again, like I said with Kekkai Sensen, it takes this very chaotic plot and weaves it together in just such a fantastic way.
So I want to throw a little shout out to my show Orimo. It's an honorable mention.
I can't leave him associated with this podcast.
Not part of my top 3, but it's in the top 3 in spirit.
In terms of actual shout-outs
from
that season, both The World God Only Knows and Bakuman are very good shows that I
and
enjoyed a lot.
All right, next
Stocking. Panty and Stocking, dog.
Monica
What the
Magica
fuck?
has-
Penny and Stocking's great.
There's
but it's
also
not top 3.
also back in there is Monica Magica, which is very high. I don't know if it's going to be in my top 3, but that is a very strong show.
For the entire decade.
Oh, and since we're including
Yeah.
2010s, Steins Gate.
Oh yeah, Steins Gate.
Steins Gate might be in my top 3, but we'll have to keep looking.
Yeah. Daily Lives of High School
DxD.
Boys is a big one.
High School DxD.
Not top
Let's
3.
Not top
Go.
3. I really like comedies.
Honorable
I'm a
mention.
huge comedy guy.
Damn, that's when Zero no Sakama came out?
Yeah, I know. Horima, Fate Zero second season, which is just
You mean
Yeah.
somehow even a little bit
You
better
mean
than the
Hyoka?
first.
We're just going to tie these by series.
What did
though.
I say?
You said Horima.
I meant Hyoka.
This is a trash season.
Yeah, summer 2012 is, you got
Kokoro Connect is pretty good though.
sort of. Well, I know, but if you keep
Campione?
it's sort of online, Kokoro Connect, and then just a lot of.
I've watched a few shows in this season.
Yeah. Did you watch? Let me get this one out. Did you watch Kono Naka ni Hitori Imoto Gairu?
You know, I can't say I did. I cannot say that I watched that one.
Unfortunately, I can say that I did, and it wasn't good. Let's see. Fall 2012, Psychopaths, the first season of JoJo's.
And here's I just said I literally just got through saying that I was going to group them by series, but JoJo's is very weird in that sense.
Moggy might be
JoJo's
my
is
top.
JoJo's is not. I'm in my top 3.
Moggy
Part
might
Part
be
4
in my
would
top
get
3.
close.
Part 4 is really good.
Psychopaths is very good.
Moggy might be in my top 3.
Moggy is incredible. It's not in my top 3 at all, but. Summer. Oh wow, this season kind of sucked. No.
I love Mayumau.
Sorry, we're looking at winter 2013. You know, looking actually at some of these shows. There's like Problem Children, Haganai, Love Live,
Malyusha.
yeah, Tomoko Market. All actually pretty good shows in retrospect, but
I don't know why Mayumau is under some of those, but and then we have Attack on Titan.
which isn't in my top 3 for the decade.
If we're talking, are we talking whole the whole series? Because if we're talking the whole series, that's the thing that I was considering might get close to topping Hunter x Hunter.
It might be
Yeah,
Attack
no,
on
that's fair. That's fair.
It might
Yeah,
be Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan is why I brought up grouping them all by series.
Yeah. Okay. So I have my final answer. I will not change this. My final answer is Hunter x Hunter at number 1. Number 2 is probably. Oh jeez. Oh damn. I kind of want to do a top 4, but because I'm having a really hard time putting Steins Gate, Fate Zero, and Attack on Titan they're all kind of in the same playing field in my mind. But I think I might have to go to Fate Zero and then Attack on Titan underneath. Which no.
And there's also other.
I like Steins Gate more than Attack on Titan. Steins Gate is number 3.
There's also really tough ones that are much later on. There are things like One Punch Man and Mob Psycho, because you have to include Mob Psycho season 2 in that.
Well, because that was part of this decade as well.
Yeah.
I don't think Mob Psycho season 2 tops any of my top 3 still though.
Really?
Hunter x Hunter, Fate Zero, and Steins Gate are.
Those are all really fantastic.
Which
shows.
is insane.
I wouldn't.
They were
like, fault
all
you for any of them.
2011 shows.
It's really crazy.
For them being, it's completely, circumstantial, but
Monogatari's second season.
yeah. Kill la Kill, Log Horizon being fall 2013.
Could you actually click on Monogatari's second season?
I suppose I can.
Why?
I want to see when Baka aired.
When
Baka
Baka aired?
I
When
think
does
Baka
it-
was 2009.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the question is, do we count the
No.
Monogatari series? I guess
Well,
we
because
don't.
you wanted to lump it all.
Yeah.
That's
That's a tough one.
That's tough. I think
Because the vast majority of it aired after 2010.
I think it's
specifically the first season aired in 2009.
I think it's fair to lump it together as a whole if it all came out that decade. But if you want to single out one season, I think that's fair for you to do as well.
I just won't include it. I would include it as a very honorable mention. There is a chance that if the whole thing aired in 2010, that I would include it in my top 3.
But it didn't.
But it didn't. So I'm just gonna say that's a weird gray area, and I'm just not gonna bother with
That's
it.
fair.
Winter
2014, you got Noragami, Nisekoi,
All right.
Chunibyo.
It really shouldn't be, but the more I sit on Space Dandy, the closer it is to
And
getting
Space
up there.
Dandy. Well, no, Space Dandy is just Space Dandy's just really good.
It's really, really good.
But
And the longer I sit on it, the more I like it.
And the craziest thing about Space Dandy is how few of members it has.
No, it's so like underrepresented for how strong of a show it is, and you always hear people talking about Space Dandy.
Oh yeah.
Because you hear about people talking about it as like the third show that I think it's Shinichiro Watanabe made.
Yeah, no, people are like, yeah, if you liked Cowboy Bebop, watch Space Dandy.
Yeah.
If you liked Cowboy Bebop, fucking watch Space Dandy.
Especially if you're looking for Cowboy Bebop and are looking for something that may have a little more comedy in it.
It's Cowboy Bebop with all of the emotional highs with even greater comedy highs.
Yeah. Like it's the thing that I think isn't represented well enough about Space Dandy is people say like, yeah, watch it if you like Cowboy Bebop with more comedy. But that completely misses the like complete like emotional level that Space Dandy can have, which is super surprising.
Some of the episodes in Space Dandy hit me harder than some of the episodes in Cowboy Bebop. It's just kind of how it happens when you have a show directed by literally dozens of people.
Yeah. Dozens of very talented people.
Yeah, and it sounds like it would get be a clusterfuck, but it only had 2 directors per episode, and each episode had a different co-director, with one main director that just kind of made sure that the entire thing was still within the Space Dandy spirit, and it's really good.
The fact that show doesn't even crack an 8 on Mal and doesn't beat the top and isn't in the top 500 of popularity is just absurd.
Absolutely,
I just don't get it. It's insane.
Yeah, that's a highway robbery, bro. That's insane.
That's just yeah.
That being said, it's not in my top 3. Spring
so keeping on going.
No Game, No Life. Irregular Magic High School. Haikyuu had its first season.
I like Haikyuu, but
Tokyo Ghoul Sword Art Online. Nakami Got Killed. Summer 14. Zenkyo no Terror might be some people's, but not mine.
Parasite is a good honorable mention here, and so is Unlimited, and so is Unlimited Blade.
Unlimited Blade Works and Parasite are both really good shows.
So is Akatsuki no Yona for people who are into that.
Yeah,
what is that about?
None of these are my top 3.
It's about. I'll explain it later. It's about a girl who's like exiled from her. Like a princess who's exiled from a kingdom and has to like work from the ground up to like win back her empire through like war.
Mm.
It's a good show.
I've definitely heard of it before.
One of my favorite shoujo series out there.
I'm still kind of skipping through. There's a lot of stinkers in here, bro. 2015 was not a super strong year.
So One Punch Man might be in mine.
That's fair.
It's one of my favorite comedies. I'm not sure if it quite hits it.
Jeez, it has over 2 million members.
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna quite crack it, but on a good day, One Punch Man can be in like it's probably in my top.
It's completely fair. One Punch Man is one of those few shows that had managed to squeeze its way into the mainstream.
Yeah.
Like
it's just really good. It's really funny.
It is really good. And I don't think we're convincing anybody to watch it. I think anybody listening to this right now has already seen the show.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, it's one of those shows that I can easily recommend as like an introductory anime. Like if you've never seen an anime, check out One Punch Man. Just try it.
Good.
It's really good.
And anybody listening, tell your friends to watch it.
Especially in this like
especially
in this like post Marvel world. Like because it plays so much on superheroes. It might be Konosuba.
Oh, Konosuba might be in your top 3?
Konosuba might be in my top 3.
You got to start narrowing it down.
I really have to start narrowing it down.
I think you said like...
I think Konosuba beats One Punch Man here.
Okay.
As dumb as that is, as that sounds to say.
That's not the hottest take I've ever heard.
That might break that. That's really weird.
That's in my top 3.
My Hero Academia is in your top 3? No, I know. ReZero is in your top 3. I know. Alright, summer 2016, got Mob Psycho, Relife, Shokugeki no Soma second season. Oh, Psyche K! Psyche K is really good, but, yeah.
That's in the void.
That's... How?
It's so... I know, it's really short. I should have been able to watch more than like 4 episodes of it, but I just didn't. I just watched 4 episodes.
4 episodes of it is literally
like
the equivalent of like...
Not
even. It's like 16
I
minutes.
know, I'm pathetic. I get it.
No, well, you said it for me, yeah.
Look, you said it, not me.
Fall 2016 was a pretty weak No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't what I'm talking
March
about.
Comes in Like a Lion.
I
right
see
there.
March Comes in Like a Lion, Keijo, and Drifters.
And like Yuri on Ice,
Which-
even though we didn't really watch it, like that's still something that
That's
like
still strong.
Is
yeah.
Keijo the best sports
like
anime
pretty much
ever?
the whole stretch of 2016 to 2019 is like
Somehow incredible.
Yeah.
And then 2020 just
drops.
yeah.
It's not 2020 is not part of this decade.
We're not counting it anymore. Yeah. Masamune Kun's No Revenge.
There's one of my least favorite shows of the 2010s.
Which one is that?
Kuzuno Honkai.
Oh yeah. That's the love triangle show, right?
No, it's more of
We're not talking
horrible
about
people.
this.
Oh no, it's not love triangle. It's
people
who
cheating
are,
on each other.
People who are all dating people, but they want to be dating other people.
Yeah,
Listen,
and they all
Sam,
cheat on each
Sam,
other with other
Sam,
people.
we're not
and it's-
talking about this. I just drew a triangle, or this. I just drew a square. We're talking about this. I just drew the dude from fucking Among Us.
I appreciate you keeping it visual. Auditory and visual, yeah. Boku no Hero, Attack on Titan Season 2 is in 2017. That was pretty dope. Aramanga Sensei is probably in our bottom 3 of the decade. Made in Abyss,
Another
really
one
good.
of our bottom
Hard
three.
shout out doesn't hit my top 3.
Doesn't hit my top
Hard
3.
shout out to Man Abyss, really good.
Yeah. Fall 2017, you got Black Clover, which is Ryan's favorite show of his life.
That's not true. That's been such a big part of my life for the last like 3 years.
Because you started watching it when it was airing.
Yeah, you did. You were the one who was like from the beginning, like, hey, I do think you guys should check it out. Like, despite everything that happened with the first 4 episodes, like, you guys really should check it out.
Violet Evergarden is in my top 3 or top 5 easily of all time.
I was actually I'm
Maybe top 10, but
I don't know. I was expecting that one to be in your top 3.
no, it still doesn't beat Hunter x Hunter, Steins Gate, or Fate Zero.
Dolly the Franks is probably one of the most entertaining watches of the decade for me.
Spring 2018 might have been the weakest spring or 2018 season.
I mean, but it still had Steins Gate Zero, Waltakoi, the 3rd season of My Hero, and another season of Shokugeki. Plus Hinamatsuri
I just
and
scrolled down.
Megalobox.
I just scrolled down. I see Megalobox, Hinamatsuri. Uma Musume Pretty Derby. This was a strong season.
Those of you who don't know
Alice
what
or
Musume is
Alice?
about the end for the more side.
If anybody knows what Alice is, real recognize real, bro. That show sucks. 2018. Summer of 2018.
Pretty strong.
Pretty strong.
That was Grand Blue,
Attack on
Banana
Titan
Fish,
Season 3.
Attack on Titan 3, Overlord 3.
Overlord 3, yeah. None of them make it into my top 3.
And Cells at Work.
Fall 2018. We've got Bunny Girl
strong
Senpai,
season.
Sublime.
Goblin Slayer,
Slime.
Sword Art Online Alicization, JoJo's Part 5, Golden Wind, Bunny Girl
Strong
Senpai,
season.
Slime,
Zombieland.
Saga.
Zombieland. There's Bloom Into You.
There's
My Sister, My
We want
Rider.
to talk about underselling or underperforming sequels. What about fucking the 3rd season of Index?
Wow, yeah, that is a good point. I mean, granted, I think that one kind of got the score it deserved there. I think it got a pretty low score. I think it has like a mid-6.
Talking about underperforming.
I mean, I think that season would probably, if
that's
I finished it, I think it would probably
6.7.
be like even lower than that. But like, for Mal standards, which we'll get into Mal standards eventually, is a pretty strong like.
Kaguya-sama.
This is not good. Yeah, Kaguya-sama is another class.
So okay, I think what's so insane, and I know this has been probably repeated ad nauseum at this point, but with Mob Psycho 100, or Mob Psycho 100, was that the one I wanted to talk about? No, I want to talk about Winter of 2019. Winter of 2019. A lot of people were always talking about how fucking great 2018 was for anime and how it would just be so difficult to surpass that. Bro, Winter of 2019, the season right after 2018 aired, is one of the most stacked seasons of all time.
Let's just go down the list. The Promised Neverland. Let's just go down the list
Promised
until we find
Neverland
a show that
season
we
1,
don't
which
like
is
know
really
off the
good.
top of our heads.
You don't have to watch season 2. Season 1's incredible.
Like, just going down the list. Promised Neverland, Kaguya-sama, The Shield Hero, Mob Psycho, Dororo, The Quintessential Quintuplets, Kakegurui, Domestic Girlfriend, another season of Date Alive, The Boogie Pop Show, and then after that you start getting into shows that you haven't really heard of as much. But like, that's a lot.
That is a pretty stacked season. I mean, the top 5 are all shows with about 700,000 members or more, which is pretty crazy. Spring 2019. And
Demon Slayer.
You get into
Holy shit.
Demon Slayer, which is not in my top 3.
It's not in my top 3.
It's not mine.
You got One Punch Man Season 2, which is just one of the most disappointing sequels of all time. But that wasn't underhyped or overhyped. Everyone knew that was going to be disappointing.
The moment the first animation trailer came out,
everyone was just like
this. Why is this happening?
Get ready for it to be okay.
And again, going back to what I just said a few minutes ago about being able to recommend One Punch Man to anyone. Unfortunately, the second season makes it a little bit harder to do that.
Yeah,
it's still good.
Again, you don't need the second season though.
No, you don't. You can just watch the first season in isolation and be like, yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah. If you watch the first season in isolation, really enjoy it, read the manga.
And that feels weird to say to people who have just started watching anime, so you really can't say that, but the manga for it is fantastic.
I mean,
it's really
if you've already started watching anime, you're a nerd, so read the manga, bro. Yeah, that's 2019. Dr. Stone, Fire Force. Vinland Saga is getting pretty close to getting into my top 3. It's not there though. I still like all 3 of those shows that I've mentioned. And fall 2019 is the last season, with Beastars being probably the only notable mention.
Yeah, but Beastars. I mean, if that's in your top 3, that's cool. That's a good show.
I respect it. I think it having an 8.04 on Mal is pretty criminal.
I mean, granted, I would rate it about.
I would give it an 8.
Yeah,
but by Mal standards, I would expect it to have at least an 8.5.
I think we're giving ourselves a podcast episode at some point. We're just gonna have a whole podcast
dedicated
where we break
to
down
just
Mal scores.
Which we we need a whole episode about that because
that's gonna be a discussion.
Okay, so give us your top 3s.
All right. You want to go first, Ryan?
No.
I need to sit on it for just a second. I have my top 2.
Okay.
I think my top 2 are pretty set as Hunter x Hunter and Durarara.
Oh, I thought something was going to top Hunter x Hunter, but
I was thinking about it being Attack on Titan, but as good as I think Attack on Titan is
it not even in your top 3?
It's a matter of am I rating these shows by how good I think they are or how much I enjoy them.
It's your top 3. This is subjective.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out, because if it's just shows that I enjoy, I don't know. Did I enjoy Kaguya-sama, for example, even more than I enjoyed watching Attack on Titan?
Did you?
Maybe. If I'm including the manga, yes.
My top 3. I think I have.
All right, Ryan, go.
Okay, so number 3 is ReZero.
Okay.
Number 2 is man. I'm still having trepidation about this.
I thought you had it, bro.
It's Black Clover. Black Clover is my second favorite show of this decade. And number 3 is specifically Attack on Titan Season 3, Part 2.
That's fair.
Sure. I have my own things on Season 3, Part 2, but that's a perfectly valid answer. It's so tough. I think mine is going to be from the top. Hunter x Hunter at number 1. It's just such a strong show. It's
watch it.
Watch it. At number 2, it's probably going to be Durarara.
Okay.
Because both Hunter x Hunter and Durarara are in my top 5 of all time. And the show that's going to hit number 3 regardless is something that scrapes my top 5 depending on the day. So it's going to be close between things like Konosuba or One Punch Man sometimes, or Attack on Titan.
Or Fate Zero.
Or Fate Zero isn't going to quite get there as much as the other ones. I think
that's fair.
I really enjoy. And honestly, I think I think we
all put Fate Zero at least in our top 20.
Yeah,
it might be easy.
I mean, it might be in my top 10. Like with the amount that we talk about Fate now, like
which will be our next episode.
Which will be the next episode, almost definitely. It gets closer and closer to being there. But when I look at those shows, it might be recency bias, but I'm gonna have to say Attack on Titan the newest season.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
The newest season's not part of the last decade.
That is fair. Actually, you're right. It's not. That changed my answer. It's Kaguya-sama.
Okay.
If we are not counting things that aired outside of 2020.
Well, no, 2020 isn't part of it either.
Oh, season 3 part 2 would have been 2020, right?
Was it?
2019.
It's 2019. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
So you're good. You're good.
Yeah. Yeah, in that case, I think I'm going to have to make it Kaguya-sama.
Damn. Okay.
I really enjoy that show a lot.
Well, we did it. I want to say my top 3 again, just
Yeah, just
because
just to
we're all
round it out
we're
there.
all doing it at this point. No, mine were what was my number 1? Hunter x Hunter. Damn. I think it's Hunter x Hunter, Steins Gate, and then Fate Zero. But Fate Zero and Steins Gate are almost interchangeable. But I'm gonna stick with that order.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that does it.
Sign us out, Alex.
All right. I hope you enjoyed these little discussions that we've had and us just tearing through the last decade of Mal scores.
I didn't think it was going to take us that long.
But I had a good time doing it, and I hope you guys had a good time listening to it. So thanks for tuning in, and have a good evening.
Remember McDonald's $1.29 hamburgers.
I need my pocket burger.
Okay, yeah. Wait, have you seriously not eaten that the entire time? You took that out of his pocket when we... Okay.
Good night, everyone.